all of the RVs that I've driven, actually holding the phone in a spot somewhere where it's accessible so I'm not handling it while I'm driving has always been an issue, because I use all of my apps through my iPhone. I mean, I've had times where I put it up here, or I've just set it flat on there. I've had it on my lap and then grabbed it and looked at it, put it back on, terrible. I thought I had a good one, this one that I talked about, my last equipment. It's got the sticky back right there, and it fits like that. It's supposed to stay, but you get to the bumpy spots, it does that nonstop. And I pick it up and put it back on. 7 seconds later, it falls off. Put it back on. 7 seconds, it's like, wait a minute. I'm literally putting this back on the bracket every 10 seconds on the road. What's the point of that? Not working. So luckily, what I found, I went into the Big Blue store here, and I got this Soch Magic something. I'll grab the box and put the title of it, but it's got sticky back. It rotates right here. It's got a magnet. You put a tiny little magnet on the back of your iPhone case like that, and then just stick it right there, and there you go. It stays there. Easily comes off when I want to go into the store. Just stick it back on for navigation. Good to go. I think that one's going to work. If it starts to just randomly fall off while I'm driving, though, I'll have to find out another way to do it. The whole Aberdeen experience, though. Oh, by the way, I've got a 1983 Ford Tioga Aero on a Chevy chassis. So basically the 83 version of what I'm driving right next to me. There's not much in Aberdeen, but I mean, there's a lot of history here too. I'm going to bring you guys along for like 3 days worth of Aberdeen stuff going on and then splice it all into one video. There's definitely some stuff I want to experience and share with you, including the last brick and sticks house that I lived in ever 6 years ago is in this town. And the spot over there where I've brought every single RV that I've ever owned to boondock in Aberdeen. So we're just windy. Didn't have the microphone with me, and then got some interesting gusts there. Anyway, I'll take you out there and show you the boardwalk at least. Okay, honestly, there's not that much to see and enjoy out of Aberdeen, but this waterfront has been changed. I filmed from here 2 years ago, actually. Sat on a rock and threw a stick in one of my videos or something. But I guess because of the Walmart moving in and expanding and everything, they had to make some changes to the waterfront out here. Alright, so this is all kind of the same. There's usually a lot more homeless people here, but looks nice today. You can walk all the way along there, the backside of Walmart. And on the other side of this bridge over here is Grays Harbor College. That's where I got my AA degree before transferring over to Evergreen in Olympia. This is where it all started for me. This city, this area, everything about Aberdeen, this is what started me to get on the road full time 6 years ago. So tomorrow I got to run a couple errands and go to the bank and everything, and then I'm going to boondock in the boondocking spot, the famous spot, and then we'll go from there. I really haven't planned it out that far ahead. So anyway, that's it. That's all there is. I don't really have any major ties to it except for the fact that I moved here with my girlfriend 6-7 years ago because of the cost of living. We rented a 2-bedroom house for $650 a month, which is a great deal back then. Still would be, but I don't really have any direct ties here because I grew up in Olympia and I just moved here for the cost of living and then got on my way living in RVs full time. So it's just kind of a lot of history to this place for me. As I said, I've boondocked in every single RV right on the other side of that bridge, and I'll show you that tomorrow. One other thing I find a little bit interesting, I've always had trouble finding fitted sheets for, this is the third RV that's had a rear queen corner bed, and I just want to kind of address that real quick, kind of interesting about the RV community. This is called a rear corner queen bed, or just a corner queen bed. That's what this is referred to as. It's a funky mattress that's cut right here to allow the bathroom door to be able to open, whatnot. It doesn't really matter. Every time this is ever advertised in an RV, it's always called a queen corner bed. I'm not really sure why that is, because if you measure this bed, it's 77 inches long by 55 inches wide. go into the store and look for a fitted mattress of that size, you're going to find the full size mattress. This is 77 by 55 for the full, not queen. This bed is smaller than a full, actually, because it's missing the corner right here. But I'm not sure why they call it a corner queen. It's not even close to a queen. It is literally smaller than a full. Just an interesting point. I think that's why I've always had weird problems with all the fitted mattresses. They always get bunched up and curled up. That's because it actually wants a twin size. Interesting. Went into Walmart and got another propane tank, so I will hook that up and get some heat going. I'm not going to keep it on all night, but it'll be nice to have a little bit of heat. I also got to thinking about what I said earlier in my video about there's nothing in Aberdeen there's nothing really about Aberdeen that's cool. I take that back. Okay, there are actually a couple cool things that I filmed last year. First of all, they have the Star Wars shop, and it's awesome. If you're ever over here, you have to go hang out in the Star Wars shop. I made a video from there last year. I will put a link to it so you can check that one out. And also, of course, Aberdeen, Washington is home of Kurt Cobain, lead singer of Nirvana. He was born here. He got his start here before moving to Olympia in Seattle and getting involved in the grunge rock scene and everything. So this is his hometown. So he was inspired and did great things, and I kind of feel like I've kind of done the same thing too. Kind of, maybe. We'll see. Anyway, alright. I'll cut back in tomorrow and show you some more. Alright, I'm going to take you to the last house I lived in before going full-time in RVs here in Aberdeen. I was trying to think of the address. I couldn't even come up with it, so maybe that explains how much memory it really has with me. I really don't care about it. I cannot even remember the address of the last house I lived in. So we'll go find out. We're going to cross this big bridge over here, and this big drawbridge that goes connects West Aberdeen from East Aberdeen is one of the two major flaws with living in this city. It's a port. It's the port of Aberdeen. But this drawbridge will open. It will open nearly 45 minutes before the boat is scheduled to even get there. And then after the boat leaves, for some reason, it sits there open for another 45 minutes for safety reasons. So what you end up having is nearly an hour and a half of the entire city just completely shut down. So it's commonplace for employees to come into work an hour to an hour and a half late, and they're like, look, what do you want me to do? There's no schedule because they can't give out the schedule of this. They also got the train over there. The train will come through and then it'll just park for a half an hour. Same thing, it just shuts off the entire city. One of the things, when I was living here, actually my house is right over there. Well, we'll go find it. I worked at Casamia at the restaurant. I was a pantry cook at Casamia. That was my last cooking job. I worked early morning shift to make all the dough for the day and do a bunch of prep in the kitchen. And I would drive from this side of Aberdeen to that side of Aberdeen, actually almost Hoquiam. But anyway, yeah, it was commonplace for me to still sometimes be an hour to an hour and a half late. Really odd thing. You don't usually have that in some cities. I mean, sure, you're going to have unexpected traffic, but you know, you're all getting ready to go to work or whatever you're going to do. You're going to go meet somebody for lunch, and you just completely lose control. You can't do anything about it. So I can see how that would be frustrating. Isn't this my street? Yeah. Marion. Okay, well, that should probably ring a bell, but for some reason it's not. Marion Street in Aberdeen. And it's going to be right up here on the left. That's a new stop sign. This used to go all the way through and people used to just bog down this road. That stop sign was not here when I lived here. Interesting. Alright, right where this, I guess, Dodge van is, up on the left. I still can't remember the address. This beige house with the brown trim in the garage, 1017 Marion. They've got a sailboat. was the last house I ever lived in. As I said last night, my ex-girlfriend and I paid $6.50 a month to rent that out. During the early spring, or late spring, early summer of 2010, we bought a 1978 Dodge Vogue Class C motorhome. That was the first motorhome experience I had as an adult, and we took it out camping maybe 3 times in the summer, just on little weekend trips and stuff like that. And by the end of the summer, she was done with it, and I was not. And so Jax was a kitten. She moved out. I had enough money to be able to pay for the next 3 months of rent by myself and just stay in the house. But instead, I put my 3 months of rent together, and I purchased my first motorhome in my name, which was a 79 Toyota Dolphin, 21-foot Dolphin. And that's how I made the transition, moved all of my personal belongings out of the house into the RV, slept out in the driveway of that house in my RV maybe 3 nights over the weekend, even though I could have stayed till the end of the month. And I just vacated the house about 15 days earlier than I needed to. Jax was 10 weeks old at that time, a kitten, and we went on the road. My idea at the time was to go to an RV park for a month, get plugged in, because I was still working at Casamia up here, and I was also going to college at Grays Harbor College. So I didn't really know a whole lot about boondocking back then, for sure. I just really knew I wanted to live in an RV full time, be a full timer. And then, of course, the roof leaked, and I put a tarp over the roof, and the Elma RV Park told me, "Oh, you can't stay here with that." Okay, fine. I pulled the tarp off, and then started having water damage inside the RV, and at some point, I just said, well, screw it. Left Elma RV Park, and Elma RV Park's probably about 18-20 miles east of here, so it was still a commute in the car to get to the town where I had all my connections with. And then I said, well, you know what? I'm just going to go live on the street with my RV. And so I'm going to take you over to the spot where I first started my full-time boondocking on the side of the street, urban camping as you might call it. But prior to that, all of my other vans and everything had also parked in that same spot. And after the Dodge Vogue and after the Toyota Dolphin, every single RV and Bertha the van that I have owned, I have at least parked there one night, one day. So that's what we're gonna do with Yoda here today and tonight. And it looks like my spot is free. Well, it's always free. I mean, it's available. We're gonna turn right here. Here's this seafood restaurant with the funky hours that I talked about a couple years ago. Let's see. I can't see their hours. They close at some weird time, like 4 p.m. And I was always like, well, why would you close right before dinner? Why would you even stay open from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m.? This is my spot. Just got to get past this fire hydrant off to the right. And then the road starts to get level. Right there. Okay, the more I think about this, the more comical it really is. There's nothing awesome about it except for it's just got sentimental value to me, to park here, to boondock here. And if you've been following me for the last few years and watched all the other 4 RVs, you'll remember I've parked here. I've talked about the water running here. I've talked about the hotel across the street with the same view that I've got. And just brings back a lot of memories because I was in a much different place back then, and I feel like I've come a long ways. And I mean, look at my RV. Jeez. If he'd have told me a few years ago when I was practically broken down in a 83 RV right here in this spot, that I was going to be in a almost brand new RV, I probably wouldn't have believed that I would have gotten to this point. So anyway, that's about it. This is an industrial area. There's a graded bridge right there that is noisy as heck to most people. I don't even hear it though overnight, and I sleep right through it. Industrial zoned areas, commercially zoned areas like this are usually pretty good for boondocking in an RV. You're not going to get bothered. No one's going to have a problem with you parking there. There's really going to be no issues at all. Unless there is some weird city ordinance that says no overnight RV parking anywhere in our city, which I'm sure I've come across that at places in my travels around the country. But this is my comfort zone, you know, back home. So, anyway. Take Jax out here real quick, get him some exercise. You go outside? Go outside? Come on. I know you hate the sound out here, but get some exercise. What do you hear? It's okay. I know it's noisy. You put up with it as a kitten, you can do it now. Yeah, you can. Come on. Hey, what's wrong? It's okay. Come on. Wow. You're not digging it, huh? I don't blame you, man. Really? You don't want to come outside? Okay, no love lost for Jax here. I've never seen my cat not come outside. I'm still gonna boondock here for the night, and I'll get back to you guys in a few days. Have a good night, guys. Later. Hey guys, this is Jax, my kitty cat. I'm his servant, Eric. Thanks for watching our YouTube channel here on RVing. If you liked the video, give us a thumbs up below. Make sure you subscribe, check out all our other videos, and keep following us on the road. Thanks, guys.